Hi there. My name is Hisham Murad. I'm a technical marketing manager here at Red Hat, and I'm going to walk through a demo video of how to deploy Red Hat Ansible automation platform on Microsoft Azure. So here I am in Microsoft Azure, and to deploy the Red Hat Ansible automation platform on Microsoft Azure, you have to go to the marketplace, and you will find this in the public marketplace as well, but we also have private offerings. So what I'm going to do is deploy one of the private offerings here, and I'm just going to select the one that I want to deploy. Once I select that, I have to choose what subscription. So I have a subscription with a specific name. I'm going to go ahead and click on create. Now I can here scroll down and you see some additional information. There'll be a video around how to get the value out of your Red Hat subscription, but I'm just going to go ahead and click on create. Yes, I do want to continue. And now I'm presented with the basic screen here, and we're going to jump into this. There's a couple of things that you just have to do. There's a private preview feature in Microsoft Azure that you just have to enable within your subscription. So we provide you the command line here that you can go and actually run from the cloud shell, right? So you can come up here to the cloud shell and you can run that command. And once you're done that, now you go down and again, you specify your subscription. So if you wanted to change that, you still have another opportunity to do so. You want to specify where you want the managed application to deploy to. And so I'm going to select a specific resource group that I already have. If I didn't have one, I can simply select create new and go ahead and create a new resource group. I get to choose the region where I want to deploy this in. And then I have a default application name, but I'm able to modify this to something a little bit more unique for me. So I usually do things like, put my initials with a number. And then I need to provide an administrator password. So here I am. I'm just going to paste that in really quickly so I don't mess it up. Now this is an important piece here where we have the access. And the access is essentially you have two options, a public and a private access. Now what we do here is regardless of which one of these you select, we will actually deploy Ansible Automation Platform on Microsoft Azure as a deployment on a private virtual network. Okay, the difference between the public and the private is if you choose public, what we'll do is we will deploy a web application gateway and a web application firewall on that gateway, and then expose the user interface for the Ansible controller and the Ansible Private Automation Hub to the public internet. So you can very quickly go ahead and access that URL from the internet. If you select private, what we do is we will not deploy that web application gateway. The ingress will be through an Nginx ingress, and that's how you will at that point have to do some additional networking pieces to get access to the deployment. And you still have to do some networking, network peering, for example, if you wanted to automate against resources that are in different private virtual networks within your Azure environment. So you want to do that. So I'm going to just select public for now. And it now presents me with, auto-generates for me, if you will, the managed resource group. Because this is a managed application, so this deployment is a managed application, you get to deploy it. You see it in your environment, but it's a managed application by the provider. In this case, it's Red Hat that manages that deployment for you. You just consume the service and leverage it. You see it in your account. It actually shows up on your Microsoft monthly bill. So it integrates into Microsoft Azure billing, and you get to leverage your committed spend with Microsoft as well. So that's all great. But again, we have an SRE team that is focused on managing that infrastructure, performing updates, performing security updates and patches, etc. So you don't have to worry about that, and you get to focus on automating your hybrid IT environment. Okay, so here is that managed resource group. So next we select networking. And at this step, essentially what you have the option here to do is you get to choose what the CIDR ranges are for that virtual network, where we will go ahead and deploy Ansible Automation Platform on Azure for you. So you can go in and decide what that range is. It just has to obviously not conflict with any of the internal ranges or any CIDR ranges that you are leveraging within your environment. So the way to do that, you simply click on Create New. You would come up here and modify these address ranges here. And then you would simply click on OK. And so we're good to go. And I will click on Review and Create. And now at this stage, I'm presented with the details of the environment. Now, there's one thing I do have to agree to here, and that is agreeing to the coadmin access. This is based on the terms and conditions by Microsoft for a managed application. So again, that managed application is a very specific Microsoft construct. So what you're going to do is you're going to come here where it says coadmin access permission. You will say, yes, I agree to this. So again, what are you agreeing to here? You're agreeing to that the provider of this application, Red Hat, will have access to this shared resource group within your environment, just so our SRE team can then perform upgrades, patches, security updates, and keep that deployment healthy for you. Again, so you can focus on automation and enhancing your environment through automation. And then at this point, we're ready to go. All I have to do is click on Create, and we are good to go. So here it is. It's actually initializing, it's submitting the deployment, and now I can track the progress of that deployment. Okay. Now this will take 40 minutes, a little bit more, roughly, depending on what's going on within the region you're deploying, but it will complete and everything will be good to go. Now, let me show you what an existing deployment already looks like. So I'm going to go back to Home. And now what I'm going to do is go to that resource group where I chose to deploy. So I actually have deployed a new one. In a few minutes, that new construct will show up here as it's continuing to deploy, but I have already previously deployed one for you, okay, for this demonstration. So I'm going to click on that deployment, that managed application. And now again, you can see the managed resource group that the Red Hat SREs have access to. And this is where I need to call if I have any support issues or contact. But now, how do I access that deployment? Well, I provided the admin password during the deployment. So now what I do is I go to the parameters and outputs. And at this point, I have access here to two URLs, the automation controller URL, as well as the private automation hub URL. Okay, so now I just simply copy these and I'll go to another tab and I will log in. And here it is. I'm actually now looking at the Ansible controller. And if I go here to the private automation hub, you'll see I am already logged into that as well. And here it is. At this point, now I can do whatever configuration I want to do in my environment and start, again, taking advantage of the content that we provide you and start automating within your environment. And I'll get into some more of those details in the follow-up video. Thank you so much and have a great day.